Hi, welcome to Fake Virtual Pop-Up. It's our number 20. It's been 20 already, 20 episodes. So I'm super excited. We have amazing brands today. We're going to travel all over the world. We're going to travel in New York, in Canada. I'm right now in Los Angeles, but then we will go to Italy. So get ready. And we're going to start pretty fast. I just say few quick things. So first, text us on WhatsApp, +1 424 488 4473. You will receive gifts. We give discounts. We have many of the fakers, the designer that are part of F.A.K.E, who give us a lot of promo code. So just text us, say hi, and we will give them to you for free. And in the same time, you will be a part of our text community on WhatsApp, and we send you every time we have new discounts, new offer, new article, new fake news. And so feel free to text us. And today we receive two beautiful brands, Red Tail Moon and ID8. I don't want to say too much about it. You will check it out on your own. And we will have Adila Cokar. She's the author, and she's a fashion designer as well, and the author of this beautiful book, Source My Garment. So if you want to learn how to become a fashion designer, this episode is for you. Like, honestly, you have everything inside. They explain you everything. If you want to be a fashion designer, you just take this book, you read it, and you're a fashion designer. It's as simple as that. She explains you everything in that. And she will explain you everything right after. And we're going to start. So that's what we do at F.A.K.E. We showcase positivity, beautiful brands that are 100% vegan and 100% ethically made. Let's start right away. I'm going to bring the brand ID8. Hello.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
Nice
How are you? Well, let me put it like that so we see you better. How are you guys?
Yeah, fine.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
So it's wait, remind me your name. I'm afraid to say it wrong.
My name is Dongsan.
My name is Raffaele.
Raffaele. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you introduce your brand, and I just navigate on your website and
Okay.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah, my name is Dongsan. I'm a designer and a co-founder of this brand ID8 with Juliana, and he's Raffaele.
Yeah, the business developer of the brand.
Yeah. This brand we launched this brand almost about 6 months ago with a sustainable concept. Mainly we are using the waste of the materials like from fruits, from apple skins, and then leaves of pineapples, and then grapes. And then we are also using the recycled polyester materials. So almost of the materials are made by recycled materials. So with Juliana, decided to make this brand because we are always interested about the sustainable world, and then we really felt to bring the fashion industry like to the more sustainable directions. So that's it. This is the bone of the ID8. Also, we have a lot of nice details. We also our shoes box made by recycled papers, and then we also put the small gift. It's bomba di semi. Bomba di semi. This is like hearts with the small seeds of flowers. Then this flower, helps to call the more. How can I say this? Can you explain better, maybe?
Yeah, you can use these themes. Maybe we show you. Maybe I don't know if it's.
Wait, I'm gonna put you in bigger.
Yeah.
If I can. Wait.
Yeah.
No, wait. How I do this?
Yeah. It looks not so good, but anyway, you can launch your garden or
in the forest, whatever you want.
And then the after you launch this, and then after some times, and the flowers blossom.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And yeah, so this message is we wanted to give because to thought about our environment. It's not just depends on us, the brand we found. This is depends all about us because you can help for our environment, everybody. So everybody is responsible. This is our messaging. So we this is our symbol of this message. And then we can show some shoes. I can explain about our shoes. This is made by pineapple leaves, and this is from apple skins. This part, so it looks like leather look like. This is really amazing materials. Also, our sole is made by recycled rubbers, and also this small details of a shoelace made by recycled polyesters, also label, also this lining made by a recycled canvas. So we really thought to make with reuse the materials instead of throw away, because while we are working in the fashion industry, we felt really sorry to throw away all these materials, so every materials was collected and then remade.
And also interesting things is everything is made in Italy. So and is a nice and interesting project because it's also a mix of culture. Means Dong come from Korea, Juliana, his partner and co-founder of the brand, was born in Italy, and she's Italian. I was born in Italy, and I will grow up around in Europe, and then I back to Italy just a couple of years ago. So interesting mix of culture in the same direction. With the environment is important for the future, is important for us first. And if we want to think a brand, if we want to think a fashion brand, we have to mix with the respect for the environment that we have. So that is the magic thoughts that are the base for ID8.
And I see as well that you have custom design, because it's already very difficult to find vegan and ethical sneakers, but on top of that, you can as well design.
Yeah. Because when I was since I was a childhood, I really liked sketchy everything. So also while I was studying fashion design and the shoes design, I always liked hand sketches, even though I can also do graphic designs. But by the way, so I thought this is a nice way to communicate with the customers directly. If some customers ask us some their ideas, what would you like to have on the shoes, we communicate together, we decide together, and then with the customer's idea, I make interpretation, and then make some sketches on it. So I think this is a nice, also,
right. So if I want a specific design, I will just talk to you and tell you, okay, I want this like that, and you will make it for me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it is also what we think. You must be proud to wear these shoes, and you will be proud if respect the environment, but also if inside there is something of you, so your ideas, your beliefs, and this is what we want to create.
That's super smart, because ethical fashion, it's all about education, and yeah, the fact that you put a little something about yourself, you will want to educate even more and to say, oh, look, I'm a part of this. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Max. I also wanted to add to our meaning of our brand. ID means identity, because our identity is sustainable direction. That's why our logo is looks like
Infinity.
Yeah, infinity. So this means that the sustainable and the recycled and the circular economic all meaning is on our this logo. And then if you turn like this, looks like a 8. So identity infinity. That was our idea to make our brand name.
That's beautiful.
And
so yeah, thank you so much.
Sorry.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah, that's I also ask you to. He wanted some word regarding the American market because he also see our product very well in America.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you think about the word, you think we always talk about where we think we can win or where we can develop our brand. US sometimes we see there are people that are much more interested and much more sensible to this kind of talks, to this kind of brand. You are living in Los Angeles, if I remember well, and also in Los Angeles, all the stars, all the VIP today think to respect the environment and think to do something positive for the future. So we believe that our product can be successful in US, still in the East or the West Coast, still in New York and in LA. Compared to other markets, for example, in Europe, still today, fashion people, if they like the shoes, they buy. They don't care 100% where the material come from or if they can respect the environment. In US, I see that there is much more respect, much more attention to all this kind of beliefs. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't really know. To me, I mainly check on vegan and ethical groups. So to me, everybody is interesting to learn always a little more. It's just that they don't really think about it. But yeah, for sure, we need to educate them. And yeah, it's true.
And we educate if we develop in the market. If
exactly.
Our shoes in LA or in New York or whatever in America, I think the people first like the shoes, for example, like the shoes, and then it's interesting when the buyers or the owner of the store can tell to the customer where all this material that Dong presented before come from. So we think, of course, we are interested to the line, to the colors, to everything, because the shoes has to be interesting, has to be nice, the shape has to be great, or as you always say, amazing. And but at the same time, it's interesting if the customers start to understand where the shoes is come from, made in Italy. Wow, what is that? What is that? And see the story of the shoes. So we think we can win. We can win in your market.
Nice. So yeah, if someone is listening and can help in any way, contact them. ID8. And we're all about collaboration. So
absolutely,
to contact any of the fakers, and maybe you can collaborate with them. That could be a great way to come in.
Exactly, and also to start. Start from something.
So yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna have to wrap up with the next brand. So thank you so much for being a part of it. And yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your day, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Thank you too. Yes, so that was a beautiful brand. I really love it. And yeah, they said they just started, but they're already in many, like they just got in Vogue, and so they are pretty big. So go check them out, ID8. And right now, so before, I just need to tell you something. I forgot Suzeli. Suzeli is here with us. So if you have any question, any comment, let us know. She's here to reply to each comment, to send you if you need any email, website, any Instagram account. She's here to reply to you. And yeah, we reply to each comment. And so before we receive Adila Cokar and to talk about how to be a fashion designer, we're going to receive Janine from Red Tail Moon. Hello.
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. Thank you for being a part of this.
I love everything that you're doing. I love your community.
Thank you. So, yeah, I'm going to navigate on your website. I let you introduce your beautiful brand.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. So my name's Janine Boublé. I am the founder and artist and everything else behind Red Tail Moon, REDTALE, like the story, Moon. I've been a volunteer. Next month will be 7 years at an animal sanctuary. It's the kids, the animal kids that live there that have made such a lasting impression in my heart that I decided to use my creative skills, and Red Tail Moon is a result of a series of different things. And the intention behind all of the designs is to increase a sense of inspiration, wonder, and connection with the animals and Mother Nature, some reflection. We all feel, they're like a mirror for us. We offer tank tops, slim fit t-shirts, unisex, long sleeves, and zip-up hoodies. Most of them are made from organic cotton. We use digital printing, which uses water-based ink. So we're all about the environment, and whatever brands we source the shirts from, they are conscious of the environment. That's very, very important. Let's see what else. Some of the messages, they're of compassion. Look at me, see yourself. Stay free, stay wild.
And you have for men, women, and
for children. Yeah, for children and for toddlers too.
Oh.
Yeah, and we have for toddlers. Yeah, and so I recently created a new design. Well, it kind of created itself. Somebody had asked about possibly opening a shop on Etsy. So right here is the new design, F.A.K.E, a strong and confident woman whose compassionate heart includes all animals and Mother Nature. And what happened was one day I was sitting on a chair thinking about what the past 2 years with clothing and with sustainability and the discussions I've heard or groups I've participated in, events with, what came to my mind was how ethical seemed to be disconnected in the sustainable conversations that I was coming across, and it really bothered me. So ethical kept repeating in my mind, and then I heard F.A.K.E, and then that's how that new design came about. So you're the first to see the new designs.
Woohoo! We have exclusivity.
I'm wearing one. See, F.A.K.E.
Oh, well, let me see.
Yeah. The long sleeve.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's a fake exclusivity.
Yeah.
Nice.
It is. It's an exclusive. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. But there's so many things I can share. I mean, I in a perfect world, I wish that everybody knew the love of the animals, the innocence and the wonder and their feelings, because they feel just as much as you and I feel, and they think, and they have their friends, and they have their challenges, and they're no different. This is really, really important. Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. There's many brands using the word sustainability, and they remove the ethic part. They just talk about durability,
Yeah.
but not about the ethic. And
I don't understand it, Jonathan.
yeah, it's true. Especially that sustainability is made of many different pillars, and ethical is a part of one of those pillars. Social justice, animal rights. If it's not respected, so those products cannot be sustainable.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Ethical to the humans and how the workers are treated, but ethical to the animals. I mean, nobody should ever suffer for any reason. We know better than that.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Everybody,
so
go follow Red Tail Moon.
Yes, and I'm going to do a 10% promo until September 25th. I think that's I think that's enough time. September 25th, 10% off, and use the code FAKE, F-A-K-E.
10% off with promo code FAKE.
Yeah, and follow me on Instagram and let me send me messages.
Perfect. Red Tail Moon. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you so much. Mwah. Love
Bye.
you too. Bye.
So, are you guys ready? Are you a fashion designer? Or are you someone who have an idea in your head and you're like, oh, I have this idea of shirts that I never see nowhere, or bags or whatever, and you feel like this is it. This is the best thing, but it looks so complicated. You're right. It is a little complicated, but with love and motivation, you can follow these rules and become a fashion designer, and even more an ethical fashion designer. So yeah, I'm gonna add Adila right now. Hello.
Hi everybody.
How are you?
See you and everybody. I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good.
Good.
So just to let people know, we traveled again. We were in Italy. We went to New York, and now we are in
Toronto, Canada. We have Canadians in the house.
Yeah, let us know if you're from Canada. So yeah, so maybe the best, I let you introduce yourself. You do so many things. I don't know where to start. You could talk about your brand or about this amazing book. So yeah, I let you introduce yourself.
Sure. So hi everybody. My name is Adila, also known as D, my nickname. So I'm the founder of Source My Garment and The Good Tea. And I've been in the industry for over 14 years now, and I've been helping brands manufacture sustainably and ethically overseas. And I have a company called Source My Garment, and I've been mostly focusing on India because I specialize in organic cotton. And over the years, I've just come to build more relationships overseas. And one of my driving forces, I think, of really what I do is to be transparent in the supply chain and really tell the maker's story, because a lot of people, but we just don't see what happens overseas, and we don't really see the manufacturing process. So there's a huge disconnect. And when there's a disconnect in how things are made, then we really don't understand why we're paying for something. And basically, I've been helping brands manufacture, and really also to tell the story of the maker. And I know a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs, they go into, thinking they want to manufacture overseas because it's cheaper, and they're also scared as well. There's this fear of like, oh, I'm going to get bad product, or they're going to screw me somehow. But the funny thing is that that's the exact same story that I hear from the makers overseas. So a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of companies, and it's a lot of the big corporations that are doing it, is that they don't even give factories a deposit, and then they'll cancel what is called a letter of credit. It's an LC, and they'll be like, oh, sorry, we're not shipping this anymore. And now they're stuck with all these goods, and they can't pay the person in the entire supply chain, like the farmer, the cotton yarn, the knitter, the weaver. There's so many people in the supply chain. And it's really sad that, they're getting screwed heavily. And, this whole, issue of all of during COVID, a lot of people have canceled orders, and it's scary what's happening overseas. So anyways, I really want to be able to tell the maker story. And I guess really help people to manufacture overseas, because not everybody's bad. Like, I know there are a lot of factories that are not good, just like locally there's a lot of factories that are not good, but there are a lot of really good people as well. So I just really want to be able to help entrepreneurs to work overseas and understand how it works, because there really is no workshop or school out there, book even, that really explained it. And so that's why I started the book, and it's really from getting from idea to manufacture and how to do it responsibly. So everything I know is in that book. So it is a textbook, but I've written it in a way where it's, no designer wants to read a textbook. So I've kind of used my lame sense of humor in it wherever I could, and made it, as visual as I could. During the process of writing the book, I started to learn more about fair trade cotton, and I was doing more research, and everything that I've written in the book, it's all backed up by some sort of statistic. And sorry, as I'm digressing, but as I was doing my research on fair trade cotton, I came across a stat that said that since 2002, nearly 300,000 farmers have committed suicide. And that's just in India alone. That's crazy. That's like 1,600 a year. Like, even if 5 farmers committed suicide in North America, like, it would be written about, and I had gone overseas, which I kind of felt bad about. And I read some small articles about, 200 farmers committing suicide, but they didn't really make it a big deal. And it didn't really hit me until I read the stat. And so then I decided, I'm like, you know what, I need to start a brand again. So I relaunched the Good Tea, and that's all sustainable basics. Again, it's sold wholesale to businesses. Because of COVID, I've kind of sold retail as well, but they're all fair trade certified. And the company, we also just got B Corp certified this year as well, which I'm excited about. Yeah, so that's kind of sorry.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of information. I didn't want it to cut you off, but I had thousands of questions coming in my mind right now. First, thank you, because I have many students in fashion who tell me that their teacher don't teach nothing about ethical fashion, about how to source ethically. As well, there's many. Like, for example, many brands will proudly say that they manufacture in US, but they are sourcing in India. So maybe it's better to manufacture directly where they source the cotton, for example, because that's what we were talking about. But yeah, let's first start maybe with how, if someone wants to build a brand, where they should start. What is the first step?
Well, yeah, you got it. This is where you start. Okay, that's my shameless plug. I'm so sorry. Okay.
No.
So I think really what I always say is, like, whenever you're starting any type of business, it doesn't matter if it's clothing or whatever, like, you really need to understand what your values are. So, like, I would really think about, like, what are you passionate about, and what is it that's important to you, especially when you're dealing with sustainability and ethics. And then the second part is really to solve a problem, because there's so many different types of products out there. And if you're not solving some type of a problem, it's really difficult to kind of, like, get heard. It's a lot easier to get media attention where you feel like you're solving some sort of a problem. So if you can, I'd say definitely solve a problem and really understand your values so that you can authentically integrate that into your business and branding.
Yeah, and I also want to say, because it looked like a big book, so people can be maybe a little afraid, but I just want to show how good it's done. Because if, let's say, you already know how to manufacture, you already know that, but you have problem in how to source, for example, so you can directly check in the menu what you want to learn about and go directly in that page. So yeah, just to show that to people, because I feel like even if you feel like you already know a lot of things, this can still help you. And actually, how can we source ethically?
How can you source ethically?
That's something that many people ask me, because it's pretty difficult, even if you look up on Google, to find where to source your products.
So I guess the first part, I guess, is just like how to find the manufacturers. I think that's probably one key thing that people I normally ask me, but I think that like the best way to go about that is really like you have to dig, and like you do have to do a lot of Google searching. You have to go into LinkedIn. You have to join those kind of groups and make postings and stuff. You need to ask for referrals. It's kind of like the same way of like, I know it's overseas, but like it's the same thing as if you're looking for somebody locally. It's like you got to find people who can give you references. I would look at competitors also to give you an idea of what country they're manufacturing in, because there's certain countries that kind of specialize in certain types of products, and that will kind of give you an idea of like what country to be specializing in. But it is really like, it is tricky. But once you get, you know, find somebody that you're like, hey, I think this could work. I always encourage people like, okay, now we're having a COVID issue, but I always tell people you have to go and meet them. It's not a question of like, oh, I'm going to like send an order and it's going to show up. And it's not like that. It's really like once you commit to a factory, like if you want to be ethical, you have to think like, okay, I'm marrying them. Like you really have to like think of approach, you know, sourcing a factory as if you were dating. It's not easy. Nobody ever said that dating was easy. Like you really need to like figure out like what type of values there are, how are they communicating with you. So kind of like approach the factories that way. And like now it's a bit, we can't travel. So you get them on Zoom. Like
yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
With your phone, you can FaceTime or Zoom.
100%. Like I talk to my factories every day, and I'm not communicating with them just about like what's going on with my order. Like I'm building a relationship with them, because that's how you build trust. So like just like when you're dating somebody, like you have to build on trust, and it's still the same rule applies for sourcing a factory. So yeah, I would just say like try, if you find somebody, like, and then just try and start working with them, and like just tell them you want to do a test order. And like you really have to, as a small company also, you have to prove yourself to them. Yeah, sure, you're giving them the money, but even if you're ordering, like I would say like minimums overseas are like 1,000 pieces. So like you could probably break that up into four styles. I know that seems quite a bit, but if you break down the sizing and stuff, like you have 5 sizes, it's not that much at the end of the day, but you have to have the money. But to them, like 1,000 pieces is not like, that's pennies to them, because their margins are not high. So they're looking at it as a test order. So you really need to prove it to them that like, you know what, you're serious and you really want to build the brand. So yeah, I don't know, is that?
And if people don't really have the money to do that, like let's say they want to do a crowdfunding or something like that, can you like talk directly to the manufacturer? I already have my answer, but I want to see from you, like, can you talk to them and explain them your situation and create this relationship like that?
Yeah, you know what I would do is like I wouldn't tell them that you don't have any money just yet. We tell them that you want a sample, and then you're going to go to market with the samples, and then you're going to place your order, and that you're looking at, this is your minimum quantity to start. And so like if you don't have the money, like the best way is totally crowdfunding. Like just get the samples. If you can also just make the samples locally. If it's not too complicated of a process, do it locally, because the whole, like, your first sample set should never be done overseas. Nobody ever should be sampling overseas their first run, because that's not the factory's job. The factory's job is to counter sample whatever you've done to make it production ready, because they need to move fast and be able to do it in a way that's efficient. So they're looking at your sample, which you should do locally. And with those samples, I was saying, like, if you can, and if it's, then use those to get pre-orders. And like everything's done online now. You can get your friends to pre-order, people like that you trust, and just tell them this is the situation and it's going to come in like 4 or 5 months. Like people who support what you're doing and believe in you, and then you're authentic, they will wait. They will. I believe.
So let's say you just start, because most of people, at F.A.K.E, it's small brands that's barely started. So let's say they don't really have money to travel. Okay, they do a FaceTime and everything, but how they can be sure that this factory is 100% ethical, and what certification they can trust?
Okay, so the good tea is fair trade cotton certified, and the reason why I got it cotton certified is because I really want to support the farmers overseas, and yeah, the supply chain is certified as well for ethics and sustainability. But to be honest with you, like, just because something's certified doesn't mean that they're better, like, at all, especially for the smaller factories. It's hard. Like, I tried to get one of the another factory that I know, I've been working with them for years. You know how much it was going to cost them? 10,000 US. 10,000. And I was like, you know what? Like, how I can't afford that? How can I expect them to afford it? So it doesn't mean that, like, it's better. It does for sure give you credibility, but you can always go to, like, Asia Inspect. There's other inspection services, and they don't charge very much, like maybe $500 US, and you can get them to go to that factory and say, can you check it out for me, to do their due diligence. But that would be like one good way, I think. There's a bunch of certifications out there, but so long as you have somebody maybe going in there and like physically checking, that's something that would be good.
Okay, that's good to know. And what, because I know you give as well some class if people want to learn a little more about it. I will show all this at the end. But what fashion designer come to you the most? Like, what they struggle the most?
What do they struggle the most with? You know what? It's like everybody's so different, but I think that mostly it's just like at every stage, I think it's a little bit different. So like people come to me and they're like, hey, how much is this? But I'm like, they haven't even worked through product development. They don't even know what weight fabric there is. Like, people don't understand overseas. It's not like we're just picking up fabric. I'm actually buying the yarn. I'm knitting it. I'm dyeing it. I'm procuring it. I have full control of my quality. So it takes time. And like, if you as a designer don't even know the weight, you don't even know if it's a knit or a woven, then like that's just causing more problems for yourself, because you need to really understand your product so that you can convey what you want to the factory. So I find that people will come to me and they don't have their tech pack, haven't worked through their product development. And I'm like, you know what, contact me in like 3 to 6 months, because product development in itself takes a long time. So yeah, it's a long process, and there's a lot to work through. It's kind of like, as a designer, it's kind of like scary, but you have to think of yourself kind of as a scientist, really, or what's the word, like an engineer. Like, every time we're creating a new design, you're creating new product, and almost like, I don't want to say new problems, but like you have to work through everything to ensure that everything works, and then you have to test it afterwards. So a lot of people don't realize also that like the big corporations, like, they know this. Nobody's reinventing the wheel at H&M, people. Nobody. They have their patterns. They know which fabrics work, and all they're doing is that they're changing maybe the length of the hem. They're changing the pockets, or maybe the fabric print, but there's nothing new. Only at the front of the store, maybe they'll do about 5 or 10, but that's to decrease their risk. So like, as a designer, like, I wouldn't suggest anybody, like, nobody should be creating so many styles each season. You know what sells, you just change the color, you keep doing that, and maybe add 1 or 2, because you just want to mitigate your risk. Because you can't expect, like, this is a handmade product too. Even if something comes back wrong, you can't freak out at the factory, because most of the time it's our own fault. You know what I mean? They're just following instructions. So we really need to understand what we're creating and really be able to convey that to the factory.
And what would you say to small ethical fashion brand so they don't give up? Because sometimes there's so many obstacles, and it can be very difficult sometimes.
Like, oh, you mean to start, or do you mean like
when they start and then they see how complicated it become, and because we need those small ethical fashion brand, so we need to make sure they don't give up during
no, it's hard, but you know what? Once you go through it once, like it just gets easier and easier. And once you build a relationship with the factory and you understand like what makes their job easier too, like it's not just about understanding our job. We want to understand more about how they're doing it, so we can think of tricks and ways to communicate better. You know what I mean? And it just gets easier and easier. And like you set up everything in the beginning, and like I have in the book also a work back schedule template. So you want to plan out your whole year, and you understand like when things need to get done. It's like all planning. And then even with the factory, there's something called a time and action calendar. That's another thing people don't know, is like when you place an order with them, get that calendar, because nobody's working without a calendar anywhere, because it can really screw you up. And if you don't get that time and action calendar, then you don't know if they're going to be on time.
Okay.
So you can follow up with them. You're like, hey, the yarn's supposed to be moving to the dyers. Where is it?
Yeah. So. I feel like building a fashion brand, it's like building muscle. Like the more you go into it, the more it's getting easier.
Yeah. And then it's really like, as you start building, like then you need to be able to like add more people to help grow the company. So that's like another thing that people have to realize too. So we can't as designers do everything. That's not even, it's too hard. So you have to like find the right people to help you on your your journey as well.
So I wanted to share your website because you are giving, so of course, if someone wants to buy the book, go ahead. It's an amazing book. And also you are giving courses.
Oh, yes.
So what will we learn and what is all about?
Okay, so that one is on Udemy, and that one is, so if you want to start a business, I actually forgot about that one. So that one, I did that last year because a lot of people were asking me, so like they want to start a business, but they don't have an idea. So I think, can you click on it to say, I hope to God that URL works.
Where? Here?
Can you click on courses? Yeah.
Oh, wait, because he opened the page on another, on another window.
I think, oh yeah. Okay, so this one is like about validating your fashion business. Like, so if you have an idea and you want to make sure it's going to be profitable, I walk you through all the steps to doing your research, because that's really key as well. Is like, you know, if you have a problem and you want to solve it, then that's great. But you also want to see, like, is this a viable product? So yeah, I walk you through all the steps to validate so that you feel a little bit more comfortable about before you start your business and investing in it. So yeah, so that's another.
And if someone wants to learn a little more, to go a little more deep in like, if you have more questions, they can contact you directly?
Yeah, for sure. They can contact me at Source My Garment. Yeah, I think I actually have on the website a Zoom, like you can do a 15-minute consult.
Oh, nice. So wait, let me share that. Where is it?
I think somebody just did it. I haven't been on that website. I've been so into the Good Teas website. I haven't like updated it properly, but just so you know, like just for order minimums overseas is like, just to give you an idea, if you're thinking about it, again, it's like it's 1,000 pieces, and usually like you need to have at least $15,000 to $20,000 like on the minimum. And I specialize in organic cotton, but
that's if you want to do it overseas.
Yeah, and if you go to thegoodtea.com, like on the Goodreads page, I also have the book there. I gave the F.A.K.E discount code on this one, on this website. So if you go to and if anybody wants to also start this and they just want to start, you know, simple at first, like my the Good Teas t-shirts, the back neck labels rip out, and then the front tags are left blank so that you can like stamp your own brand onto it. So you can start your own brand with minimal like investment. So you can just put your own prints or tie-dye or embroidery. But if you go to shop, at the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to Goodreads, yeah, here. It's
Nice.
also sold on Amazon too, but here, if you want to purchase it, I gave a 20% discount. It's in paperback and in hardcover.
Nice. Do we need to put a code or it's automatically?
Yeah, you have to put the code FAKE.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you want to order a t-shirt too, you can with that code.
And we got 20% off.
Yeah.
Let me write it down here. Up 20% off with promo code FAKE. Guys, you need to go check it out. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap up because there is we are as well on live on Jane Unchained, and there is a lunch break live in 10 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
So yeah, I have a question I love to ask. So okay, I'm a fashion designer. I barely start. I just finished my school, and I want to build a brand, but I don't know where to start. I don't know if I should focus on the ethical part or no. What would you tell me to convince me to build a brand an ethical brand? You have 2 minutes to convince me to build an ethical brand.
An ethical brand? Okay, so there's a lot of like harm being done to the planet and people, and I really feel that like if you want to have a positive impact on this in this world, that we should think about ethics and sustainability. With regards to ethics, like my main driver is really to tell the story of the maker and how things are made, because they put so much like skill and love into the product, and I want to be able to tell that story, and I want more people to share that story as well. Again, also the cotton, the reason why I got fair trade cotton certified was after I started learning about how many farmers in India alone have committed suicide, and how it's just such a disconnected supply chain. Like I've been in the industry for so long and I still never knew where the farm was until I got fair trade certified. And those are my values. But being ethical and sustainable has to come from your heart. And if you care about animals and that's really your message as well, then like integrating that component and really sharing more of that story into your product is so important, because we are the voices for animals. Like they can't talk. So if that's another component of, we really need to share that story as well. So whatever like tugs at your heart, just, go with it, because that's going to drive you forever. Like you will never get tired. It is tiring being an entrepreneur. It's hard, but at the end of the day, that's what's going to drive you. So yeah, that's kind of what I would say to start a brand.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I want to share one last thing, because I feel it's very inspiring. It's this, to be transparent. I feel like this is one of the most important value when you build a brand, is to be transparent. And I rarely see that. Maybe the first time I see that on your website, The Good Tea. You are showing everything from the cotton to the logistic part. You show all the
and you know what's so great is, like, as a small business, we can do this. This is something you can do. Like the big corporations, they have no idea where their stuff is and where it's coming from. But we have like one edge over this. So I created this also like as a guide. So anybody who's creating their own brand, like please use this as a guide as to how to break it down for people. Like I even tell you who my customs broker is. And I was so happy to do this. For so many years, I could never do it because I never knew where the farm was coming from. Where the farm was, I knew that I was buying the yarn, and it was like got certified, the global textile standards, like certifications, but it doesn't say on it where the farm is, which I think is so bizarre. But anyways, so after I got Fair Trade Con certified, I did this, and I'm so happy to finally be able to do that. And I tell you where the trims are coming from. If you don't know where your trims are coming from, because the factories overseas, like they're kind of doing a lot of the legwork for you overseas that you wouldn't have to do here. So they'll be getting the trims and stuff. Then you ask them, where did you buy this? And then you just add it. And then if you go overseas, once this whole COVID things happen, then you can actually you can actually go and visit all of the whole supply chain. And then also, if anybody has time, you can also watch the video, and so you can actually see like I did this, I think 8 years ago. It's really like homemade, but at least you guys can see like the story and like the footage that I've taken at the factory.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna show a little bit. So, oh wait, it opened in another window again. So wait, let me
I
put
went
it here.
to Source My Garment website. So sorry, but
Oh,
yeah,
no, it's okay. It's
the
me.
factory is like run by Franciscan nuns, and it supports an old age home and kids orphanage. So yeah, like that's another component. Like you really want to share that. So where I get things made, they're also supporting other people.
So I know many people are afraid to share and to be transparent.
I don't understand
Because of the, like, that's what most of people told me, because of the concurrence, the how we say, the other brands, they're afraid to share the knowledge
I
to
don't
competitors.
life of me understand that. Like why are people so afraid of that? I will tell everybody I have such a solid relationship with them. Even if my clients come to me like and I'm like consulting with them and they try to be like, oh, I'm gonna go work with them, like, do you know what I mean, and try to screw me, they never. My factory is always, I have that relationship with them that they will never, like, you get my point, right? I have built that relationship with them, and I know they're not going to like I know the way they behave and who they are. They're not going to go giving my patterns away and stuff. That's not the way that they are. But like even locally, like designers, like we need to be more of a community. There's no reason ever to not share this information. Like we should be helping each other.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's why we go back to what you said at the beginning about your book, that we should start by knowing our story and our values. Because when you do it with the right value, your audience will follow you whatever, and they will actually appreciate that you share all that. So I totally agree with you. And yeah, there's no competition. We are here for sharing and change the world. We're not here for money or ego.
Yeah, we need to work together. That's how we get stronger in what we do. The more you help, like that energy will always come back to you. When you help other people, they will always remember you, you know?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's
so yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all this. Everybody go follow Source My Garment or The Good Tea. And yeah, if you have any question about how to manufacture or anything, either go buy the book or go directly to Adila, ask her question, or even, you know what, do both. You take the book, you read it, and then you can ask her all your questions.
And you can follow on Instagram as well, Source My Garment, or follow on the Good Tea _ on Instagram as well. That would be great.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And yeah, that was our episode 20. And see you next week. Actually, next week we won't have the virtual pop-up. We have a special event with VegFest Los Angeles, special fashion. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. So see you all next week. And thank you again, Adila.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.
Bye.